Hi there and welcome to this bonus episode of the Gazette's Hockey Inside Out Show. I'm Stu Cowan of the Gazette and I'm joined by former Canadiens teammates, 1986 Stanley Cup champions, you know who these guys are, Chris Nilan and Rick Green. Knuckles, I was thinking of you last Saturday when Jayden Struble dropped the gloves and put a pretty good beating on Ottawa Senators Nick Cousins, who, as I've said, is the definition of a hockey rat. Payback for the two-handed slash that he gave Ivan Demidov during the preseason. What did you think about that?
Well, I liked it. Listen, here's the deal. What he did to Demidov, again, and I get it, trying to intimidate guys. You know, it's Ottawa, Montreal, there's a little bit of a nastiness there that goes along with that. I get it. Cousins certainly has that reputation. And, oh, well, you know, Linsman had it. Quite a few guys in the league had it, right, that played that style of game. You get under people's skin. Dale Hunter, you know, you got to deal with it. And Jayden Struble deal with it in a great way. And my whole thing is when I look at that, and the word is that he tried to get Gallagher to fight. Let's get it over with.
And Carrier.
Yeah, and Carrier. Like, you pussy. You know, like, you know, you want to answer the bell. So he finally answers the bell, and then he gets dinged, and he leaves the game. You pussy. Like, hello. Now he's back in the lineup, right? Like, hello. You know, come back out and face it again with your face all messed up, whatever. And don't give me the concussion protocol. You took a punch in the face. Big deal. Get back out there and face the music again. And that's what I didn't like about it. But that's Nick Cousins' job. Get under people's skin. He did. Struble, good on you. Like, you know, again, Northeastern alumni, dropping the gloves and letting someone have it. Way to go, Jayden Struble.
Well, talking about it with him afterwards, like the first hockey fight he ever had was in Laval. You know, no fighting in junior, and he said he's learning how to do it. He's saying how, you know, on ice fighting is a lot different than off ice fighting, and you went through that yourself too, Knuckles. But Rick, just your thoughts on what you saw Struble do.
You know, it just shows you how close this group is, and Jayden was sending the message and not leaving it to Arbor to send the message. He said, okay, enough is enough. Let's get this straightened out so it doesn't happen again. And he did a hell of a job in sending a message, not just to Cousins, but the whole Ottawa team, that we're the real deal. We're a close group. Don't mess with us. We can play any way that you want to play. And it's sending a lot of message, not just to that occasion or incident. It sends a message throughout the league.
Yeah, I mentioned after the game, I said to Struble said he told his teammates he was going to fight him. And I said, was it any chance that Jacky was going to fight him? He said, no, he wasn't going to get Arbs. Just too much of a weight difference there, I guess, or whatever. But as you said, Knuckles, he said that he asked Gallagher to go first. He asked Carrier to go. And then they said, no, you're getting him.
Yeah, which is good. Like, hello. And, you know, Abba made the right move, not fighting the other guy, McDermott. You know, he can't even get up and down the ice. You know, God bless him. He's in the NHL. Apparently there's a role for him, but, you know, that wasn't the time. They're up 2-0. You know, the time will come. He'll probably have to face him, but I'm not worried about Abba. He's going to, listen, when you do that job, you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
You're going to give it out. You got to be able to take it. And you know, that's life when you have that job. And, you know, Abba's certainly done a whole lot more than good, but, you know, good than bad. There's no question. But in that role, but Struble, man, yeah, it takes time. Like Abba fought in junior. Jayden never fought. It's like me coming out of college. I know I fought in the street. I'm sure Jayden did a few times too, but
he told me he did.
You got to find your way. You got to find your way and see what works for you. And it's always good to get a couple of tips from someone who's been there and done that type of job. And I'm sure Abba works with him and talked to him about it, what some of the things that can help him. So that's a good thing. Oh, Marty might.
Struble told me Arbor's worked with him like on grips, how important it is to get a grip and wrestling around with him. But as you said, it's different than actually fighting. Arbor had a pretty good fight with Nick Delorier. Delorier won that one. He's still tough as nails at age 34. Knuckles, you dropped the gloves once or twice in your career. Do you have one fight that stands out as your biggest memory, or one you remember more?
Oh, fighting Dave Brown with no jersey, come on, that was really tough to do. I guess my O'Reilly fight after, my rookie year when I fought Jonathan, then him, and he bloodied me up pretty good. And then I got him back in Boston with that one punch where I cut him open really bad. That's kind of memorable, but, yeah, for me, I had to fight smart. It's great everybody stand there and just swing crazy, but I had to fight smart. I wanted to last. I wanted to play as long as I could. I didn't want to, break my jaw one week, come back, and then break my nose, and then break my jaw again. I had to fight smart. Most of the guys were bigger than me, and I was able to survive.
You were even able to skate across concrete in Vancouver to get Fraser to on his way into
fighting on the concrete, nothing like it. I felt more comfortable there.
Yeah,
the sparks were flying.
And don't ever think that they beat you because you would follow them home at night to attack them in their house. But anyways,
well, I asked St. Louis after that fight. There's still people who like fighting out of hockey. And I asked him about that, and he says, I have no problem if they get rid of the stage fights. The two guys who play 5 minutes a game and square off. He says, I have no problem get that out of hockey. But he says, I think we still need it as a policing system. And I think this was an example of it with Struble. The Cousins got a $2,000 fine or whatever from the NHL, which was a joke for trying to injure him. So I think it's the case. But Rick, you watched your buddy here, Knuckles, drop him a few times. Is there one, apart from the one on the cement, is there another one that you remember that stands out?
Well, I mean, earlier on in my career, it took a lot for me for the gloves to come off, but I basically, one that sticks out in my mind, I think was probably in 78, when we were playing the great Philadelphia Flyers with about 20 of the idiots that were ready to hurt you in any way they could. And then I remember Paul Holmgren, just a pain every time you're on the ice, and he just kept running at me and trying to smash me through the glass. And then finally I said, okay, enough of this. Like nuts, the wires kind of touched, and I ended up going at it with him. And thank goodness I hit him. You talk about the lefty, I hit him with a lefty coming in and was able to knock him down and out. And I fell on top, and I said, this is the last time I want to see you running me from behind, because I've had it. And anyway, thankfully, the message was sent then, and the Philadelphia Flyers, mind you, they had about 18 other guys that would have loved to do it. They gave me a little more time, and I survived to tell the story.
Well, they used to talk about the Philly flu, right, Knuckles? You never had that. You must have. What was it like going into that rink?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. And I don't want to be like a hero here, but I was ready for it. You had to be. And is it nerve-wracking? Of course it is. I get why some players are scared. I get why some of the smaller players are worried. And I get why you needed someone like me to be able to counter that. And like Rick said, they had more than one guy. When I played for the Rangers, and Bergie was my coach, the bastard, and I love Bergie, but he started me in Philadelphia, kind of like, hey, F you, here we come. And I'm like, why is he starting me? Like, sneak me out there the second shift or the third shift, and I'll do what I do. Well, he starts me there. Who do they? And I'm out there with Kelly Kissio, Thomas Sandstrom, Brian Mullen, Brian Leach, and like, who's going to be there for me if I'm in trouble? So who did they start? John Knockbauer at center, Dave Brown, Craig Berube, Jeff Chikrin, and Terry Cockner. So he dumped the puck in, and I ran Chikrin and Cockner come over, and I end up fighting Cockner right off the hop. And then later I fought Berube. But what are you going to do? Show up. Suit up, show up, baby. Take your protein pills and put your helmets on.
Well, Jayden Struble definitely showed up for the Canadiens, and you think Nick Cousins might think twice the next time he wants to slash Ivan Demidov on the hand. Anyway, that's it for our final bonus episode of the week. I hope you all enjoyed it. We'll be back with a new Hockey Inside Out show next Wednesday, followed by 3 more bonus episodes. Meanwhile, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our Hockey Inside Out YouTube channel.